When you start contacting him and seeking for closure, here is what happens. Have you ever wondered what transpires when a relationship suddenly goes silent? You've been the one always seeking closure, always seeking for clarity, always being the first person to reach out. And then one day it dawns on you that it is just a one sided energy. Then you decided to stop contacting, stop seeking for closure. Something happens. The first thing that happens is the pause, the silence. They begin to wonder what could be going wrong. Why are they suddenly quiet? At first, they take it with calm. They wait out to see what's happening. They wait out to calculate the time and to, check in. It's usually going to be the same way it is all the time. They're usually going to reach out. And when you don't reach out over a particular period of time, curiosity sets in. Shit, has this person moved on without me? Is something the matter? Or is anything the problem? In the period of this silence, a lot of things goes through their mind. And because the silence has gone on for quite a number of time, they lose access to you. It's not just ball like it used to be. When you go silent on someone, think of it this way. The music starts playing and suddenly the music stops. At that point in time, you're beginning to wonder what could be wrong. Did the tape stop playing or did something happen? Was the electricity turned off or stopped? That curiosity, that moment is what goes on exactly when there's a silence. When they go silent on you at, at that point, when you stop contacting because they decide to, reciprocate that energy, this is the same curiosity that goes through their mind. And then the desire comes in, not because they actually want you at that moment, but they actually design the time they spent with you. So out of that curiosity, they're going to be asking themselves some questions. Did I overdo? Did I overstep my boundaries? Did I do something wrong at this moment? And in truth, it's because the energy has always been one sided. You just decided to take a pause. And because they never truly saw the value of who you are, the, the silence really mattered to them. Now, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. You have this urge to break the silence, even though you know that it's always been a one sided energy. And that is where you do the mistake. Once you break the silence, they gain access to you. And where access is unrestrictedly open, desire becomes limited. When access is unabated, when access is unhindered, respect becomes minimal. Check this out. When someone doesn't really have access to you and they get to have access to you, how do they treat you? They treat that moment with specialty. The same thing goes for a relationship that is one sided. When people feel like you are always there, you have no other choice. Nothing will ever go wrong. You will always be there to tolerate their excesses, their insensitivity, their their immaturity. The level of attaining maturity or ownership of responsibility becomes minimal. So check this out. During that period where you stop contacting, a lot of things go through their mind. Now they want to observe, okay, how long is it going to take before she breaks the silence? How long is it going to take before they reach out? At that moment, they are thinking and they are being curious. Now, don't confuse curiosity to be desire. They might be curious, doesn't mean they really desire you at that time. A lot of things are still going through their mind and they are still observing. Self check, situation check, and relationship check begins to set in. And when they begin to do this thing, a puzzle comes on their mind. Should they be the first to check? Should they check? But then, because they're used to you reaching out first, they take some time also. And at this point, on your own hand, you're beginning to feel that void. You're beginning to feel that moment, that loneliness begin to set in. The zeal for you to be the first to reach out begin to set in. Once you do this mistake, that ends it. You're never gonna attain the level of respect you ever desire in that relationship. You're never gonna attain the level of love you so want in that relationship. And that moment of silence that you actually built up has just gone into waste. But here is the thing, when you take a time out and let it play, it begins to reveal a person's true color. Because in that moment of silence, if you are truly valued, they will reach out. They would seek foreclosure. They would own up to. They will be accountable for their actions. They would, want to lay their cards down and settle things. But if you don't matter to them, it goes on as usual. And the next thing I will be talking about will also tell you what that silent moment could actually bring to you, because that silent moment will also reveal what their true intentions were. Notice when a person truly loves someone, you hardly could be away from them over a long period of time because they place value in your life. They give you that comfort, that security, that emotional attachment. So when you stop reaching out and they feel comfortable and they act like they don't care, it's either of two things. On your own part, you might be feeling like, oh, did I overdo it? But have you looked at it from another perspective that if I really mattered to this person, they would have reached out and actually found out what was wrong. So these are the things this silence teaches you. Another thing is Another thing is that moment of silence also creates a point where they start recalibrating their expectations. It doesn't go as it's not as usual because they're about to experience something they never experienced before. Like the norm is in the relationship, you're always the one reaching out. Now, because it's gone past the normal time where you ought to have reached out, probably after a normal, seemingly argument, fight, it takes you maybe an hour or two, or maybe a day or two. But now it has gone beyond a week, 2 weeks. At this point, they are recalibrating their expectation. They're not completely expecting you to reach out, but at the same time, they still have this little bit of. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean they are in love with you or they they really want you. They're just actually orbiting their expectation, orbiting their leverage to see who is going to reach out first. At this point, the next thing they do is they start monitoring you, start checking out you using funny account to check out your lifestyle. And at this point, when you stop reaching out, you don't overly show that you've moved on or you're not feeling the pain, because if you overdo it, you're going to notice that something is actually going on. This person is just putting on a charade, a phony attitude. Live your life normal. Do things that pleases you. Sometimes disappear to an extent. Do things that would actually set you up for you to become a better person in that moment of silence. Because at that point, whatever happens within that period should be a defining moment for you, and also take that point to reassess the relationship. If I was truly valued by this person, why did it take so long for this person to reach out, despite the fact that it has always been me reaching out, me seeking closure? Now it also gives you an assessment of where you stand in the relationship. A lot of people find themselves in a relationship where they feel they are very happy, they feel their partner loves them, but it's usually the joy and happiness you bring into the relationship that keeps the other partner active. Now, this moment of silence would also give you a reassessment of the whole situation and makes you understand where you truly stand. So, in positions like this, you just stay grounded. The longer you stay grounded, it also gives you clarity, because it's better for you to remain out of a relationship that your value was never appreciated than for you to be in a relationship where you're constantly feeling emotional distress, emotional disconnection, and emotional immaturity from the other partner. Then the last thing is they would do when you create this moment of silence is they test you. They come up with some, after waiting and noticing that a lot of things have changed, they come up with something. This might be a missed call, a flash or something, just to see if they still have unrestricted access to you. When things like this happen, you stay grounded. You don't be in a hurry to reach out, because most times after staying silent for a while and the other party reaches out, you feel some sort of relief. Oh, finally, he has contacted me, and you feel the need to rush to respond. This is where a lot of people make that mistake. Once you do this, the whole moment of silence has been destroyed. Take a calm, because it is not as if they are missing you, or it is just a test to see how accessible they still are to you. In some cases, they send random message, they ask you random questions, places you visited or places you talked about. They can just casually ask you, "Oh, a friend of mine was in this neighborhood and wanted this. What's the name of it?" In cases like that, you don't rush to answer. You let it, if need be, you take your time at your convenience to respond. This actually proves to them that you're not desperate for their return, but at the same time, it gives you a calculative move. Now, this also helps in some cases if they don't actually reach out finally. it gives you clarity as to where you belong. Most cases, we want what is best for us. We hope they return. But in the case where they don't return, you let go because it is better to be valued than not to be valued in a relationship where you've invested your time, your energy, and your emotions. So that moment where you stop reaching out, that moment where you decided to give a break, is also a defining moment for you to know where you truly stand in a relationship. If this message is and this message is actually touches you, why not give me a follow and give me a like too, so that this could also pop up on your screen and relationship advices like this could also be of use to you. I remain yours, Done Simple. Do have a wonderful day.